This is the end of the beginning. Welcome to today's show. I want to thank a subscriber over on the website who goes by the name Take Me Away, Jesus. Perfectly said. Please do. Please, Jesus, take us away. Who posted this link on the website. And again, a lot of great information is being shared over there. You can learn a lot of real stuff that's actually going on instead of, the stuff that they'll let trend on Facebook and Twitter and anywhere else online. And this is a frightening reality that we're living in as we live in a spy world where even people like me and you think, well, we're putting tape on our cameras. We're making sure that we don't have Alexas in our home. Well, the majority of us have Wi-Fi routers in our home. I mean, I know a lot of you have, and look at the internet on your cell phone, which is enough of an issue with spying, obviously, and radiation, everything else. But for those who have Wi-Fi routers, if you have families or if you just, like me, you upload on YouTube and have to edit and do all this stuff and have the internet and a Wi-Fi router, well, guess what? Wi-Fi routers can see people through walls, and here's how it works. Isn't that great? Because that's what we need, right? They're not spying on us. It's just a coincidence that the Wi-Fi routers can see through people's walls. With the help of AI, the researchers were able to detect the movement of human bodies in a room using Wi-Fi routers, even through walls. Isn't that neat? Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University have repurposed a common piece of tech found in virtually every household. Well, that's how it works. Right? That's why they use the TV and the phone and want you to have a phone. And you feel like a freak if you don't have a cell phone. You don't have a cell phone? Go somewhere and tell someone you don't have a cell phone. You don't have a phone? Try to get a job and tell them you don't have a cell phone. They won't hire you because they think you're weird. It's hard enough if you tell them you don't have LinkedIn or Facebook, right? Well, you don't have social media? What's wrong with you? You freak? No, I'm normal. Thanks. So they're telling you that because they want you to know, well, every home has a Wi-Fi router, right? And we've heard the government say it's a crime for any place. If anyone's not able to get the internet, it's a crime. Well, of course, we know the Internet of Bodies is the thing that they're going to do here and connect people to the internet. And everyone thinks it's a crazy conspiracy theory, that it's out of the realm of possibility, yet they openly talk about it. And then eventually when it happens, we'll all still be like, hey, we were warning you about it. And they're like, warning of what? This is perfectly fine and normal because they're conditioning them for it. Because that's how this whole thing works. They get them conditioned, they desensitize them, they put stories out there. People at first go, Internet of Bodies, I'm going to be connected to the internet. Then they hear story after story about the benefits of it, the benefits of their health, the benefits of their income, the benefits of how they feel, the less anxiety, all that kind of stuff. And then they go, this sounds great. And then they don't show video of people imploding, taking the mark, dying on the spot. So people just assume that it's okay. And then they go along with it. And that's how this whole thing works. So the researchers at Carnegie used radio signals from Wi-Fi routers to detect and track a three-dimensional shape and movements of human bodies in a room. They didn't have to use any cameras or expensive LiDAR hardware. They said, we believe that Wi-Fi signals can serve as a ubiquitous substitute for RGB images for human sensing in certain instances. Illumination can have little effect on Wi-Fi-based solutions used for interior monitoring. In addition, they protect individuals' privacy, and the required equipment can be bought at a reasonable price. Of course it can. In fact, most households in developed countries already have Wi-Fi at home. And this technology may be scaled to monitor the well-being of elder people or just identify suspicious behaviors at home. The authors wrote in their study, which is yet to be formally peer-reviewed and is available on the preprint server ARXIV. And that's another thing that people need to keep in mind. If something is affordable, and it's not overly priced, it means that they want you to have it, okay? Televisions could easily be $10,000, and people will still pay that to have it because a lot of people need it. But then other people would be like, or lower income people who they need to target, or they need to target everybody's minds, right? So they need them to have this tech. So the Alexa, all these things, etc. They're like $100, right? $50, $100. You can get a TV for $100. You can get a better one for a couple hundred. They're not overly crazily expensive, but they can get expensive based on the size and the quality of the TV, right? But they want you to have these things, right? They want you to have a Wi-Fi router. That's why it's inexpensive. They want you to have cell phones. They're relatively inexpensive, right? I mean, a new iPhone, expensive. But relatively, you can get a phone for cheap. You could trade it in for a better phone and get it for cheap. You can go to Walmart and get burner phones or get phones on those plans that are $20 a month. and buy the phone itself for $50 or $100, right? So they make it accessible to people because they want people to have it, but they also, want to charge them for it because it'd be a little bit, people might get suspicious if they give it away for free. I mean, like I always say, if the government gives it away for free, you should be suspicious. And, well, we can only think of one certain thing they were giving away for free the last couple of years that made people not suspicious somehow, when the government was literally bribing them with gift cards and lap dances, but that's another story for another day. So, AI turns Wi-Fi routers into cameras that can see through walls. The team used DensePose, a system for mapping all of the pixels on the surface of a human body in a photo, developed by researchers at Facebook's AI lab and a London-based team. And again, this is like, we've seen this technology in movies. I think The Dark Knight, the one with the Joker, uses this type of technology where through the cell phones, the thermal imaging, that they use that they don't actually need the cameras. Cameras all on all the floors. I think it was at the end of the movie where the Joker's in the movie and there's all the goons inside the buildings and Batman uses the thing and he can see where everybody is based on that. All right, so this is the type of technology that people are desensitized to. They're like, well, it's a big deal. It's thermal imaging. It's whatever, bro. If the government wants to watch me take a dump, let them watch me take a dump. If the government wants to watch me sleep with my wife, let them watch me. That's the mindset of society now. Instead of being like, no, I'd like privacy. Nobody wants privacy. And of course, they've done that by design with social media where people have given up their privacy to the point where they're literally posting pictures of their infant children online. And then, they're not suspicious. They're not thinking at all that some creep could be looking because they're like, oh, nobody's going to find it or see it. Not some guy I went to high school with 10 years ago who's creepy and he's not looking at it and then wants to come. Then my kid goes missing, Nobody thinks. They're like, oh, that's overthinking. That's being too precautious. Oh, right. Let's not be cautious of our lives and our family members and ourselves. Let's trust in Big Brother, who has shown us time and time again that they hate us, want to betray us, and ultimately want to kill us. So they use that thing I just mentioned called DensePose, which maps out the pixels on the surface of a human body in a photo developed by researchers at Facebook. What makes DensePose powerful is the ability to identify over 24 key points and areas in the human body, such as joints and body parts like arms, head, and torso. This allows the AI to describe a person's pose. Combining all of this data with a deep neural network, they were able to map Wi-Fi signals phase and amplitude sent and received by routers to coordinate on human bodies. So these are things that people are putting in their home that are giving them literally a map out of the home. And who do you think gets this map out? Just it's sitting inside of a Wi-Fi network. Nobody's like, well, okay, so the Wi-Fi router is doing this. Why? Oh, it's doing it for fun. That's why. The people who made the Wi-Fi router, they're like, let's just for fun, for craps and giggles, let's just, have this inside of here so we could see where people are going around. Well, okay, that sounds like a great idea, huh? What? Are we violating anyone's privacy rights? Shh, don't worry about it. What do you think? It's like 4 people in a room pretending to be anonymous, pretending to be in Russia and with hoodies on? Oh, no, it's your government, of course. Of course, because why would anybody else want this? And who do you think it goes to? Well, they don't tell you that, of course. They're just like, oh, this is cool. And then eventually they'll tell you that, well, this type of technology could help stop a thief from coming into your home, or they can monitor a situation inside a house that might be dangerous, right? And people are just like, oh, good, okay. Instead of arming yourself, protecting your home, they don't want you to think like that. Just let Big Brother protect you, or, come into your home and rape and pillage. So they say for their demonstrations, the researchers used 3 $30 Wi-Fi routers and 3 aligned receivers that bounce Wi-Fi signals around the walls of a room. The system cancels out static objects and focuses on the signals reflected off moving objects, reconstructing the pose of a person in a radar-like image. This was shown to work even if there was a wall between the routers and the subjects. This approach could enable standard Wi-Fi routers to see through a variety of obstacles, including drywall, wooden fences, and even concrete walls. This is not the first time researchers have attempted to see people through walls. That's for sure. Researchers, aka your government. In 2013, a team at MIT found a way to use cell phone signals for the purpose, and in 2018, another MIT team used Wi-Fi to detect people in another room and translate their movements to stick figures. And again, that's what I mentioned with the Batman movie or the Dark Knight, the Joker one, which I think it was the Dark Knight. The phone signals, they are, a lot of people remember that when it happened not because, hey, it's a cool movie, well, that's really neat. It's like, oh crap, wow, they could actually do this, right? Because they revealed this stuff in the movies, the type of technology that they have. Some guy with a pen and a piece of paper, isn't just coming up with this where he's like, hey, imagine the cell phones, could use signals and then track humans, and we don't need cameras, and we could just use infrared and all that. Yeah, the guy just came up with that. Mm-hmm. So they say, however, the new study from the Carnegie Mellon team delivers much higher resolution. You could see what people who are moving are doing by looking at their poses. Previously, another team at Carnegie Mellon developed a camera system that can see sound vibrations, which with such precision and detail that it can reconstruct the music of a single instrument in a band or orchestra without using any microphones. The researchers believe that Wi-Fi signals can serve as a ubiquitous substitute for normal RGB cameras, citing several advantages, including the nature of such devices, their low cost, and the fact that using Wi-Fi overcomes obstacles such as poor lighting and occlusion that the regular camera lenses face. They add that suspicious behavior inside a household can be detected and flagged. There you go. So they add that. So whatever they deem as suspicious behavior inside the household, they could deem it, detect it and flag it. Now, people hear that, they're like, well, that's great, right? A husband's going after his wife, or Michael Myers is in the kitchen, they can flag it. Well, they're not going to tell you next, of course. Flag it to who? Who are you flagging it to? Are you flagging it to America Online? I mean, the Wi-Fi router? What do you got? Like, you got who? You got, I don't know, just name a cable company or whoever you get your internet from. Oh, you're flagging them. So somebody there's monitoring you? Is that what you're going to tell us? Flag it to who, please? Can we get answers? Also, what's suspicious behavior? Well, you never get. You'll never get any answers to that. Suspicious behavior? Well, this person inside the house this husband inside the house wasn't bent over. So we're going to come there and arrest him because he's not bending over for Big Brother. Or he's just going to say, well, suspicious behavior is we're just going to frame people inside their homes who we see searching online for things that we deem misinformation, which of course is anything that questions the government. So they say the question remains and constitutes suspicious behaviors in this context, with companies like Amazon attempting to put camera drones inside our homes. The widespread use of Wi-Fi enabled human detection raises concerns about the breach of personal privacy. This tech may prove to be a double-edged sword, and it will be crucial to consider the implications before it hits the mainstream market. And again, we remember a couple weeks ago I covered that story someone shared over on the website about Amazon. Amazon locking some person. An Amazon delivery guy rang the doorbell, and the person said something through his Ring device or his, whatever, one of his devices, and the person who was delivering it thought it was racist, so he called his boss. His boss then said, "Oh my goodness," to Jeff Bezos himself, I guess, and they froze the guy's all of his devices in his home, his smart devices. Right? That's not illegal, by the way, huh? That doesn't show you that we're in a communist government where corporations have that type of power. No, of course not. We're supposed to just say, well, he hurt the guy's feelings, so he should have his water shut off and his fridge shut off. But, yeah, well, that's the thinking in today's society. It couldn't be dumber, and it's all done by design, of course, making weak men, making sensitive people overly sensitive. And then people care more about people's feelings than they do about people's rights, their privacy. And they put all their trust and love in a big brother who are the ones who want to slaughter you. So that makes perfect sense, right? So, look, we know they have the type of technology to pretty much do this type of stuff. But now they're coming out, they're talking about Wi-Fi routers can see through people's walls. Is anybody concerned? Nope. Is anybody wondering what suspicious behavior is? Nope. And is anybody wondering, well, when the Wi-Fi router sees suspicious behavior, who is on the other end of that? Oh, the NSA. All these government agencies that are supposed to be protecting us from Al-Qaeda and the boogeyman. Oh, right. They're really monitoring us and spying on us, and that's why they create diversions and distractions like they did on the 11th of September so that they could take away your privacy rights and start spying on you in the open and admit to it. And people still go, why would they care what I'm doing? What do they care? What are you doing? Well, if the government's watching you, then you're doing something wrong, like questioning them. Oh, right. Frightening, is it not? Frightening. A reminder, if you didn't see my first video that I uploaded, please make sure you sub to my backup channel now. I have a warning strike, one more strike. I won't be able to upload for a week. So please, everybody who hasn't done it yet, I'm asking you to please do that now. It is urgent that you do it now. Do not wait till later because you'll lose track of me. That's how this all works. That's why they keep doing it, so that we can all be disconnected from each other. They don't want us communicating with each other. They don't want us like-minded people talking to each other, expressing these things and pointing these things out. So please do that now. I thank everyone for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always and your families.